Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Frostbite tribe. In the last episode, we saw the birth of our very first Killer Island twins, Frost and Shiver, and now armed with the stories of their ancestors, they are ready to carve their own path across this big, wide desert. So thankfully, we are finally in the situation where we don't have to worry so much about the food supplies. Of course, we still need quite a bit more food to sustain ourselves in the future, but we can at least have our babies, and we don't have to worry about not being able to feed them. Heart is also sniffing out some pretty good food sources in the background here. We have a nice little shriveled up berry bush that somebody could pick from, and I think he sees a nice tasty root back here as well. So we'll have to have him go dig that up with his digging trunk since he does have the extra ability to do so, and it might be a good idea to breed him with our twins before we send them out exploring too. They're going to need to gather up plenty of nesting material within the next few days so that they can actually make their nests, so it's probably a good idea to kill two birds with one stone basically and expand the territory in the process, and just in case we run into any more of those rogue males, we probably want to make sure that they are already pregnant on their journeys. So we'll bring Shiver over here to breed with Heart first, and then we'll bring a Frost over here too to do the same, and then I guess they can just start picking up all of the grass in the area so we can really expand this place. I was actually hoping to bring them a little bit closer to the shore later on, because we do also want Stag to make his way over there since they also have some pretty good genetics. And he has the nimble fingers too. That's the big thing. Right now we're just relying on our mutation menu for the nimble fingers, but if we could bring his genetics into play where he already has it in his traits, then that would make it much easier for us to pass. Our newest little baby, on the other hand, the sweet little deer, is probably going to have to stay right next to this berry bush because we need somebody to continue collecting all of these nice juicy berries even as Doe passes away. And this is actually her last turn too, so I guess she's going to have to pass that role over to her daughter. We'll make sure that she stays right by that source of food, and then somebody else with the collecting ability is actually going to have to come up here and do the same from this berry bush. For now, let's move Heart a little bit deeper into the grass, because I do want him to dig up that nice, tasty root on the very next turn. And then I believe that's all of the moves that we can really make, because of course Deer can't collect from the berries yet, she's a little bit too young. So let's go ahead and skip the day, and hopefully we'll see some more carnivores popping up soon because, of course, that is exactly what our Killer Island twins were meant for. Their favorite source of food, without a doubt, is going to be, the carnivore meat, but here we have yet another one of those wandering males. Oh great. Well, thankfully we don't have to worry about that too much because Shiver and Frost will be kept perfectly safe. The no-paw issue is really what's concerning me at the moment because it's certainly not going to help us gather up any of the food that we have access to. So let's bring Heart up here to continue digging up his roots just like he was going to before, and then I suppose we want to at least make the pathway clear over to this berry bush. Even though our twins unfortunately won't be able to pick from the berries, we want to make sure that we know that they're there. Now we have 5 pieces of nesting material to use now, and if we have Stag make his way down the shore and possibly gather up this nest for his little sister, then we'll have, let's see, just over 10. So one of the twins at least could have their babies, but Deer is going to spend her time just collecting the berries like she was told to by her mother, of course. Her poor dear mother Doe, the sweet and shy Doe who unfortunately passed away right on the balanced shores. Her legacy will hopefully live on though in her children because we have passed quite a few of those prehistoric genes in their traits. I'm really hoping that we can get the Megaloceros horns again before this is done because I would love to see those giant moose antlers. So let's see, Onyx, we don't want you getting too far away either because she doesn't really have a way to protect herself. I think she's very weak. Yeah, considering that most of our creatures have like 7 in strength, she is very weak. So we want to bring her up here too to at least collect the grass. We'll keep expanding the territory and whatnot. And then let's see, can we find any more tasty roots back here? Yeah, there's another one way back there, so you can keep carving your pathways through the grass too. The twins are going to have to keep picking up the grass behind you, I suppose, because we want you to get there as soon as possible. Now that should be it for this turn as well. Since we have so few creatures on the island, the days are passing super fast. But at least that also means that the food is going to stick around for a little while longer until we have more nimblefinger babies to collect from all these berry bushes. So let's skip the turn again. Any carnivores today? It doesn't look like it, unfortunately, and that rogue male still has not peered from the darkness so we can see what sort of genetics he has. Now, do we have a tasty root down here? I think we actually do, right on top of one of these skeletons. So maybe Onyx could come down here instead and dig that up with her digging paw, so she can still contribute to the food sources in her own little way. And where was that tasty root over this way? Right on this tile. We don't want to forget about that. Now I suppose we could let Shiver have her baby first, since we only have the nesting material for one of these nests, and then she can use the rest of her turns just to pick up a little bit more grass in the area too. Now, since Heart does have one of the no paws, maybe we should actually place the running leg in here instead, just because it seems like it's a little bit easier to pass. That way, even if this is the only thing that our babies mutate, we'll still have some collecting ability, and some is certainly better than none. Now, I guess we could have Frost come up here and just keep carving out the pathways like she was doing before, and Heart might as well do the same since he has gotten himself like stuck in the middle of all of this grass, all of these cactus plants. He might as well make sure that he can at least get back to his families. Now Stag and Deer. Stag, I guess you're going to have to part ways with your adorable little sister. We'll change her second gem over to Orange. At least we know she's going to be safe because she does have her 2 gems, so if any birds come out, we won't have to worry about her too much. Now if you could find some tasty shells to gather up along the way, that would be excellent. Oh, there we go, we have one right here, okay. So that gives us 2 extra pieces of food, and then hopefully he can start making his way up the grass too. Though maybe it would be a better idea to bring the twins down because we don't want him to lose out on any potential shells. We'll have to see what happens with this baby, I guess, before we decide, because as long as we have somebody to pick all of these juicy berries, then we should be golden. So let's zoom out and skip the day again, and we'll see what, oh, this baby looks like. Oh my goodness, look at you! Unfortunately, he does have the no paws, so we haven't been able to get that out of the genetics just yet. But he has the Megaloceros horns and the digging trunk. Oh my gosh, and he might actually be able to breed with deer. I think their genes are completely different. They are. So could we possibly get a baby with the Megaloceros horns and the digging trunk? I mean, that would be quite helpful for us even if it did have the no paw, because we'd have a very, very strong baby with the ability to dig up tons of food. I feel like he deserves a very desert-like name too, with his very, very sandy appearance, so let's name him Sandstorm. That should be quite fitting, as he also charges his way all across the desert just like his parents were planning to, until we can truly say that we have conquered the Killer Island as well. That being said though, we still don't have a way to actually collect from those berries, so maybe we should have Onyx come down here to help Stag get a little bit closer to the berry bush. He doesn't have any shells to collect down here, does he? Unfortunately, I don't see any, and it doesn't seem like he can sniff any out either. So let's bring him up the shore. He's a little bit more needed up here at the moment anyway, so we'll bring him up to the berry bush so he can pick up all of those juicy berries and hopefully have a child with them as well. We won't have to worry about the crippled paw with them, so it should be a healthy baby no matter what. We have so many cactus plants here though, so many cactus plants. I mean, if worse comes to worse, we do know that we can pick from these. It does take off, I believe it was 2 days worth of life on their lifespans, so it is a little bit risky to do so, but if worse comes to worse, it is better than starving. Now I did see a little root down here, and since Heart is much better at digging, let's have him go way down here and dig that up from Onyx, so he can share his food with Onyx too, since she does love her tasty roots as well, while she continues to clear out the grass for Stag. Let's keep trying to pick up the nesting material while we're at it, and hopefully we'll be able to spy that wandering male again soon too, because I'm a little bit concerned that he's lurking somewhere in the grasses, and we don't want him to get to Shiver. So let's bring her over this way, since I believe he was on this side of the island somewhere, and maybe we should also investigate the water again. Since our creatures with the double claws should be able to pick up any fish pretty easily, we might want to see if there's some sort of spawners in these streams, or even down by the ocean, just like Lavender found before. They won't be able to breathe in the water like she can. It would be nice if we could bring those gills out again though, since we do know that that's yet another source of food that we could use. Oh, and I feel so bad for poor little Deer. She's way down here all by herself. We need to find her a friend. We definitely need to make sure that Sandstorm can make his way down there as soon as he's old enough to toddle his way out of the nest. So I guess we can go ahead and skip the turn again. Still, oh, there we go, carnivores. I was going to say still no carnivores, but we found you, little guy. We found you. So I think Shiver should be able to take you out all on her own like usual, protecting her baby. She is a very, very protective mother, just like her father was before her. Now let's have Stag stumble his way out of the grass so we can bring Onyx up here to hopefully gather up all of this tasty meat, so they will have a nice big feast of carnivore meat and potentially berries too. We'll bring Stag up here, attracted by the scent of those juicy berries on the shriveled up bush, and in the process, let's see if we can breed him with Shiver right away. There we go, it seemed like that worked. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this is going to be the official start of our nimble fingered line yet again. It's so funny because we tried to get rid of the nimble fingers before since we didn't really need them for the mountainside, and now we are like relying on the nimble fingers to get us through this crazy desert island. Let's bring Frost over here to have her baby too. Since we still have the mutation menu set up for the babies with heart, we'll have her baby first, and then after that, we can change it around for the one between Stag and Shiver. Now, Heart, can you find any more of those tasty roots down here somewhere? I think we may have depleted our stock. Oh no, we have one way over here. Another reason why it would be very, very helpful if a deer could give us a baby with that digging trunk. For now, let's gather up the berries like usual and then scoot over to this side so she can pick up some nesting material too. And then, I guess, Heart, you're just going to have to do the same, clear out all of this grass so we're a little bit safer. Now let's see what Frost's first little baby is going to look like. Hopefully this one will be a little bit more lucky without, oh my goodness, without the no paw? I think it actually was Cora. Oh, that is adorable. She has the gills just like her grandmother and the spiky body like her grandfather. How fitting is that? How strong is she too? A 7 in strength. Oh, of course. Of course, we have to take a look at her model too because she is adorable. Look at her. She has like that striped middle too. I wonder if that's because of the panda patterns. Oh, she looks so cool. I think I'm going to keep her name too, Cora, because I do like that very, very much for our newest little water baby. Maybe Splash heard us talking about the fish that we wanted to catch and he gave us that baby so she could go into the ocean just like Lavender. Hopefully anyway, we need to find some more fish to eat. Now, Stag, if you could come over on this side, you should be able to pick up all of these juicy berries, finally. So these creatures over here will get their first taste of berries too. We want to change Onyx's very last gem over to blue as well, just like her ancestors. And then I suppose she can just keep carving out the territory as well, making sure that we have our pathways, just in case we have more carnivores to slay in the meantime. Now, Heart, why don't you come down this way so that we have some way for some of our newest babies to get down to poor little deer, especially Sandstorm. He is ready to find his own calling. He's not even fully grown, but seeing his mother take down that carnivore in a one fell swoop has really given him quite a bit of confidence. So we'll change his gems over to blue just like his mother's, and then we don't have enough nesting material just yet to make another nest. So I guess we're going to have our mothers just pick up more grass if they're able to. Just a little bit longer, dear, and then you won't be so lonely anymore. Let's have her pick from her berries and then scoot off in this direction, just in case we have, oh my gosh, our very first crabbits. I didn't think they were on this island because we haven't seen them in so long. I was actually hoping that we could find some little shells for her to gather, but the crabbits are a very good sign. At least that's another source of food that we can actually use, especially for these creatures with the double claws. Since the carnivores are a little bit more rare than we were hoping for, the crabbits would be an excellent use of their time while we're waiting for them to spawn. For now though, let's skip the day again, and then hopefully on the next turn we'll be able to move Shiver into the one nest that we have. And perfect timing, it is raining again, so Stag can gather up all of these juicy berries another time. This grass actually grows back, so we'll have to make sure that somebody is always next to this berry bush so we don't accidentally lose it. Likewise, dear, you're going to have to run all the way back here to pick up your berries. The one nice thing about having a giant desert biome is that we don't have to worry about the bunnies stealing our berries. We haven't had a single bunny hop out of this grass yet, but of course that also means that we can't use them as a source of food. So now we can have our very first baby with Stag. Let's bring Cora out of the nest so Shiver can set herself up right inside, and then I think we want to swap around the mutation menu just a little bit more. We'll put the big ears in the 30% slot since we don't have to worry about the running leg, In fact, let's just take that out. We don't need to mess up potentially passing the nimble fingers by getting the running leg instead. Otherwise, their genetics honestly don't concern me too much. The one thing we could place in there is the normal eyes, just to try to override the blind eyes in his genetics, and then we'll see where the pieces fall. Hopefully this will be our very first big-eared baby too, because it has been so long since we last saw the big ears. Now hopefully we can find some more of those tasty roots. I do think there's one right over there, so Heart, you might want to start making your way back up here, back and forth all the time. Taking Trunk's work is never done. Our twins won't be much use to you, I'm afraid, because they don't exactly have the best smelling skill. But we could have Onyx attempt to sniff out some more of those tasty roots. Oh geez, look who we found. Oh my goodness, the rogue male, I almost forgot about you. So this is our first time actually seeing you, isn't it? The first time you've stuck your head out of the darkness. We have immunity genes H and B. I know we have B inside our tribe already, but H I think is new. And then like all those crippled paws. You do have the big ears in your genetics, but I think we probably want to get Onyx away from you. I don't think we need to risk having a double no-paw baby. That would certainly not help us right now as we're trying to find a way to collect from all these berry bushes. That does mean though that Frost is going to have to be extra careful as we pass the day here. And likewise, I mean, we really don't want Deer to be on her own anymore. Who knows what she's going to find way out there. So Sandstorm, keep clawing your way down the shore. He'll go right up to the waves, and hopefully within the next couple of turns he'll have his final gem. I think he has 2 more days before he's fully grown. He might be fully grown by the time that he finally stumbles into a deer over here right by her berry bush. But I think that's about all that we can do for this turn. So let's go ahead and skip the day and see what the very first baby of Stag is going to look like. Oh my goodness. Do you by any chance have the nimble fingers? No, just those double claws again. Oh my goodness. And he does have the blind eyes in his genetics too, so that's a little bit unfortunate. We couldn't pass the nimble fingers just yet. And I think I may have heard, oh no, a carnivore. Oh no, poor little deer. Oh, this is exactly what we were worried about for you. So why don't you grab some berries, slap the carnivore, and then run as far as you can. But don't worry, because Sandstorm is going to be right behind you. This little ball of fur is ready to show his stuff against his very first carnivore opponent. He almost reminds me of a Nip from the mountains. And I think Nip was probably like his great-grandfather, right? Because Nip was Blizzard's father, so that's kind of funny how they've both turned into our island's sort of heroes. Now you guys back here, we are getting a little bit low on food again, so I don't want them to have any more babies just yet, but we are definitely going to have to at least breed them, because we do have that wandering male somewhere in the grass. So Heart, why don't you scoot up here to pick up yet another root? And yeah, there he is right now, just kind of lurking in the background. We can at least bring Frost over here to breed with Stag, and then we'll scoot her off into the grass. And then we can do the same for Onyx too, because her genes also line up with his. Not only that, but she's the only creature still carrying that hammer tail, so maybe we can get somebody with every single prehistoric gene that we've come across yet. Let's bring her over here, and we'll use his last turn to breed with her. Last but not least, we have Shiver, and we'll also need to name her baby too. I think she would give him another snowy name, because those big white ram horns would probably remind her of all of the stories she was told. So let's name him Glacier. And now that Cora has her second gem, she should be able to sneak in the shadow of Sandstorm and make her way down to the shores. Needless to say, her best use would be wherever she can find a ton of fish and crabbits, so hopefully she can make her way down there very shortly. But right now, we have a carnivore situation. So let's zoom in here and see if hopefully poor little deer is far enough away to get away from the carnivore. Oh no, she did take a hit just as Sandstorm grew up too. So he should really be able to do some pretty good damage on this carnivore. Let's have Deer move out of the way first. We'll set her up right here so she can gather up all of these tasty shells too, since we do actually need the food pretty desperately right now. Now I think our best course of action would probably be to just wait this out, because if he jumps in here and lands a hit, then I think he's also going to get pretty hurt as well, as long as the carnivore is not still locked onto Deer at least. I guess we'll know on the next turn either way if it's chasing after Deer or if it's going to try to land at least one blow on poor little Sandstorm. sandstorm. So we'll leave him there so that he can stand in between the carnivore and deer and let her know that he is watching over her. Don't worry, we're going to protect you, little one. She's been alone for so very long too that it must be quite a shock to see anyone this far out. Everyone has kind of moved to the mainland to pick all of the berries in the area, all of these cactus berries and these shriveled up berries too. So I'm sure she kind of thought that she would be alone for the rest of her life. Thankfully, though, we also have the brave Cora coming down here to investigate the ocean waves, so I'm sure she'll also have fun getting to know deer too every time she comes up for air. We are at a bit of a standstill, though, as far as the nests go, because I want to make sure that we have that nice big feast to eat before we have more babies. Luckily, we do have a little root back here to dig up, and I think, yeah, this is Heart's very last turn too. Oh, the poor little guy, our only digging trunk. He has given us so much food as well, probably just as much food as a stag has given us with his big nimble fingers, so he has really been a very valuable member of the tribe. We're going to miss little Heart, but at least he lives on in the legacy of some of his children. Sandstorm, of course, and he is very, very brave, so we won't be forgetting him anytime soon. So in the next episode, not only will we hopefully see the end of the carnivore over on our balanced shores, but maybe we can also find some more berry bushes out in the wilderness. It would be nice to finally get a grasp on our nimble finger family. We certainly want to have more nimble fingers in the desert than we do at the moment because food is still pretty scarce. We haven't had to worry about starving since, but I would feel much, much safer if we had a little bit more food in our stores before our families get any bigger. And likewise, I'm hoping that we'll finally be able to see the big ears on one of our babies. We need that extra heat resistance after all before the temperatures start to rise. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!